first I heard it was all African American, like a fighter squadron.
That's my dad here.
They didn't really think that black men could fly.
The field was segregated. I didn't know that my dad was a Tuskegee Airman.
My name is Amara Golden, and I'm the great-granddaughter of, his full title is Lieutenant Newman Camay Golden, and he was a member of the Tuskegee Airmen. In high school, I already knew I had to complete a senior project, and it could be about anything. And at that point, it had like an interest in filmmaking. My family was just learning more and more about like Tuskegee Airmen, and so I decided that would be like the best topic to cover because I would be learning both about him and also being able to capture that through a creative outlet that I was also learning for the first time. I think especially like my great aunt, her recognition that like the government and like the press has given her has sparked like an interest within our like family to ask her questions. It just is a matter of fact of asking her the questions, and she will like tell you everything that she knows.
I'm here to introduce you to my dad, Newman Camay Golden, First Lieutenant. These are some artifacts that I have of him and his service to our country. My dad received the Purple Heart, which is right here. He was shot down in the Korean War. He served in the military throughout the World War II. This book is when we went and had a memorial service for him, and he is in a plaque. They put a plaque up for him at the cemetery, and the whole family attended.
And it was like my family's turn to go, and the convention was about the progress that they were making on recovering the remains of veterans in the Korean War. And even at that time, it was just like a fun trip. Like, I've never really been to that many states in our own country, and just like the thought of flying cross country in a plane, like with my whole family, it was like one of the biggest family trips that we've taken.
We are in Washington, D.C. I have Layla here, Shreya, and Jalen right behind the camera.
Ooh. He was a prisoner of war in World War II when his plane went down, and he became a prisoner to Germany, and he was then released. And the crazy thing to me was, even after he was a prisoner of war and like he got his freedom and was allowed to return home, he went back and fought in the Korean War, and then that's where his plane like crashed there, and he went missing in action, and his remains like still remain there today.
Since then, we've been vigorously trying to identify the remains.
My name is Christopher Freeman Golden. I'm a grandson of Newman Camay Golden.
This is a demilitarization zone.
Knowing that, or when I received information that he was a Tuskegee Airman, it was I think it was my grandmother. My grandmother came across a picture of my grandfather, like front and center, as they were, him and other officers that was with him. They looked like they were kind of looking towards, like, say someone was giving them instructions in a barrack. I seen that and I was just kind of like blown away. I was like, at the time, I didn't know what a Tuskegee Airman was. So as I got older, I started, once I started reading and actually seeing movies, and I understood, like, wow, okay, he was involved in something that was, great.
These are medals that my dad received throughout his career of service. This medal I received when I was invited to go to Korea. Then my daughter went and they awarded him with this medal.
When I was given that opportunity to fly in that P-51, I think I went through natural emotions first. I was like scared, oh man, I'm gonna fly in this little plane, I was thinking about, what if I died in this plane? If my grandfather would have came back from the war and he was able to communicate and all that stuff, I would love to hear the stories from a first-hand perspective. You know what I mean? He's able to let us know exactly what happened so we'll know the truth. Maybe he would have embellished it a little bit, I don't know.
I just got this package in the mail sent from my dad, and it contains some of the materials that are needed for my documentary. This is the official 99th Fighter Squadron patch according to the U.S. Armed Forces that you will find through any search computer or otherwise. However, the patch below is what the original members of the 99th designed. Unfortunately, due to racial attitudes at the time, this original patch was considered too political. It just had way too much information on it about a group that wasn't supposed to exist.
The Tuskegee Airman experiment was when they first allowed African American males to train to be Air Force pilots, but they didn't really think that black men could fly, so they didn't really think much would come out of it. When he was fighting, he was an enemy to America in a way. They were like black African American men and women didn't have the same rights as white people did. And it's just surprising to me that they still decided to fight for their country when their country didn't really care about them. And it just confuses me, that you can fight for something that is not giving you the recognition and the support that you need. He was a prisoner of war in World War II when his plane went down and he became a prisoner to Germany, and he was then released. And the crazy thing to me was, even after he was a prisoner of war and he got his freedom and was allowed to return home, he went back and fought in the Korean War, and then that's where his plane crashed there and he went missing in action. And his remains still remain there today.
During my growing up, my dad was not there. He was off doing what soldiers do. So that's the only explanation I could have for not having that, pictures of us together.
As someone that is not valued in your own country, I'm surprised that he had the guts and the determination to still go back out. And in the letter that my Auntie Marilyn reads, he wrote to her and her brother that he didn't necessarily want to go out, but he saw it as a way that was making the world, the country, a better place for his kids.
August 1st, 1950. Dear Bobby and Marilyn, I want you to know and understand that I really didn't want to be over here and leave you and go away. I was gone all through your babyhood, so you don't remember, but I was not there. But it seems as if there are some greedy and powerful men who don't want little boys and girls to get that the greatest enjoyment of childhood. So here I am off again across the world into some foreign country in an attempt to ensure the peace of the world. Some may say that we in the United States don't have anything to do with people in other countries, but I don't agree. Suppose you kids had no other little friends. Can you imagine how lonesome you would be? I hope this all will be over and all of us will be together again, as we have been for so long.
Ultimately, like, I'm doing this for my family. Obviously, I want other families and individuals to see this, but I feel like there's responsibility that I owe my family. This is my part of keeping his memory alive and also educating people that aren't related to this topic, but they can learn a part of history through a personal lens and something that researchers can't know, but only the family members that have lived those lives.